Ho, 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 everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Team Daddy Weekly Recap. I am your host, Shapiro the Hero, aka the Hebrew Hammer. 'Tis the holiday season, but more importantly, it is fantasy football playoff season. And that means that anything can happen, including PJ actually winning a game. I'll break down all the scores and upsets, preview the toilet bowl, and take a look at who's left standing in the fight to be called Daddy. But first, we have to thank this week's sponsor, NORAD. For over 60 years, our National Air Defense Team has taken a night off for Christmas Eve to track Santa's sleigh as he flies around the world. Unfortunately for 5 of us, Santa couldn't bring us a win this week. Let's take a look at our winners and losers from Week 15, starting with our defending champ, Swans. In the upset that wasn't really an upset, Swans moves closer to repeating as champ after defeating Zach 130.2 to 73.3. Mark Andrews led the way for Swans with 40.6 points, and Josh Allen contributed another 27.9. Zach got double-digit performances from Zeke, Josh Jacobs, and Hollywood Brown, but it was not enough to dethrone the champ, who will take on our mentee in the first semifinal. Zach moves into the consolation bracket, where he and I will square off for the second time in 4 weeks. As for me, just as I predicted, I am out of the playoffs after Week 1, as our mentee beat me 184.6 to 134.05. Our mentee's team really played to their full potential this week, as he had the highest scoring team in all of fantasy football. He got 30-point games from Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, and Cooper Kupp, and 25.5 from Dallas Goedert. I thought my 37.8 points from Tyreek Hill on Thursday night were a good sign, but it was not to be, even though I was ahead going into Tuesday night's matchups. Looking ahead to the semifinal, it will be Swans and our mentee going head-to-head for the second time this season. Our mentee beat Swans in Week 11, thanks in large part to Aaron Rodgers and Jonathan Taylor each scoring over 50 points with 4 touchdowns apiece. Will he be able to replicate his success, or will Swans go to the ship for the second consecutive year? We'll find out next week. Turning now to the other side of the bracket, we saw Brett pull off the upset over Josh, 157.8 to 122.4. Brett's tight end Travis Kelce was the week's highest scorer with 46.1 points, and quarterback Jalen Hurts added another 30.6 points for the OG Daddy as well. Josh got 21.9 from Matt Stafford on Tuesday night, but it was not enough to defeat Brett, who will play Kyle Swans in the other semifinal. Josh drops into the consolation bracket where he will take on Cheese. Kyle advances to the other semifinal thanks to his first round bye, and will look to win the league in his first year back. Kyle is 2-0 on the year against Brett, including a win just 2 weeks ago on the strength of Devontae Adams' 39.1 points. With half of Brett's team either questionable or in COVID protocol, will he overcome the odds and make it to the finals? We shall find out soon. Looking to the losers bracket now, we had Big John taking on George in the first half of the toilet bowl. This one came down to a rare Tuesday night matchup, where George emerged victorious 111.05 to 106.6. Miles Sanders was the hero for Team 2U, as his 21.6 points cemented the win. George also got a big game from the Vikings defense as well, as he avoids the toilet bowl for a second straight year. Big John got a whopping 38.2 points from Brandon Cooks, and another 16.8 from Devontae Parker, but this was only half of his team's total output for the entire week. Big John will face Jed in the toilet bowl next week to determine who will be punished in 2022. And finally, in what can only be described as the biggest must-win game of his Team Daddy career, PJ actually won a game. Yes, you heard that right, folks. 2-12 PJ pulls off the massive upset over Jed, 123.6 to 77.1. Outside of Tyler Boyd and George Kittle, no one on Jed's team scored more than 8 points this week. With punishment looming, that is not the type of performance you want to see from your team. PJ, on the other hand, outscored 3 different playoff teams this week, thanks to Justin Herbert, Christian Kirk, and Dalton Schultz each scoring 20-plus points. PJ escapes punishment after quite possibly the worst regular season record we've ever seen, shutting up all the haters and proving that you're not out of it until you're out of it. Jed will face Big John in the toilet bowl, having already defeated him in Week 4. Who will be wearing the lingerie at next year's draft? We'll find out next week. Since there's really no need to update you all on the standings or bracket, I'm going to take this opportunity instead to wish all of you and your families a very Merry Christmas. As the token Jew in this league, I know I have my own holiday, but I still celebrate with all of you. As we look ahead to 2022, may this holiday season bring you all good health, peace, and happiness. For one of you, Santa will bring a championship in 2 weeks, And for another one of you, he'll bring a punishment to be carried out by the rest of the team next summer. But in the meantime, I wish you all good luck and good football. Remember to keep setting your lineups and checking them twice because weekly winners are still happening through the end of the playoffs. I'll have an update for you next week in our final video of 2021. Until next time, thank you as always for watching. This has been another edition of the Team Daddy Weekly Recap. I am the Hebrew Hammer, and I will see you next time. L'chaim, motherfuckers!